High school was the time in my life where I became fully committed to filmmaking. Every school assignment we had where we needed to be somewhat creative, I made an effort to create some sort of film. Senior year was the first time I was able to collaborate with other people, as well as my first time realizing how much the film world is a male-dominated field. Being the only girl out of 23 in the film class made me an outsider, but it also made me work harder. The men in my class learned to respect me. However, I knew it was going to be a tougher challenge in college and beyond. Freshman year at MSUM, I tried to find my creative niche, as well as a group of filmmaker colleagues and friends. As if feeling like I wasn't established as much as other students within the film department wasn't enough, I also had a hard time standing out from the shadow of the male students in classes. I felt successful after freshman year. However, at the end of the day, I felt I had no connection to anyone in the department. So much is dependent on connections you have in the film world, and being of the opposite sex of the majority casts you aside. Being myself could only get me so far, and in order to maintain connections outside of school to ensure possible work in future years, I had to make myself fit into this new kind of artistic and male-dominated world. Sophomore year, I entered with confidence. However, I was soon getting criticism right and left about my work, since at the time I was still figuring out my strong points and not so strong points. I started to get this immense pressure on me to find myself, and maintain my own filmmaker identity within this group of male students, and have a close connection to other students within the program. It was almost like this impending doom, where if I couldn't fit in with the guys here at school, how could I ever survive in the real business? In the fall, I found an amazing group of film students who are still today my dear friends. However, it came with a price. Even though we had become close while working on set, after shooting was over, we stayed in contact by having little socials every Friday night. I thought my relationship with them was dependent on attending every social, and I also knew these parties were a chance to meet and get to know other film students. These parties we all attended were a chance for us to pitch ideas to each other, watch films, and share personal opinions, all the while having a good time and a few drinks. It started out for me as a social event once a week. However, by the time spring came around, it became an outlet for me. It was the one night of the week where I did not have to worry about work, school, roommate problems, or boy problems. It was a relief and a joy to finally have a place to fit in with amazing people around me, but I unfortunately found that drinking was the main way I was coping with the problems I tried to ignore. Consequently, I lost my own identity. At the end of the day, when I looked in the mirror, all I saw was a stranger staring back at me. May 7th, 2010 was my wake-up call. It was the end of the semester for me, and I was ready to let loose and have a big kickoff to summer. The party was going great until we got a knock on the door from the Moorhead police. Getting a minor in conception was one of the most humiliating moments of my life. Yet it also made me realize how far into depression I had been in. I was consumed by the need to establish myself within a group of guys by trying to become someone I was not. My values had gone down the drain, just so I could fit into a mold I didn't need to be a part of. Over the past year, I'm happy to say I am able to stand as high as my male colleagues within the film department. I found my niche and have great connections with other students and faculty for guidance. Being true to yourself not only gives you self-worth, but can also gain you the most respect of all.